Thanks for staying with us. Before I move to Miriam, it's not 67,000 able-bodied soldiers. It's policemen, not soldiers. So we are very clear on that. Go ahead.
So our borders are safe. So we have the Executive Secretary of NATI, that's the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. They had hosted a conference, and Mr. Ogbonnaya Orji, during that presentation, has said that oil theft is an emergency right now in our country, and it has posed serious threats to oil exploration, exploitation, with huge negative consequences on economic growth, business prospects, and profit earnings by oil companies. Data was also provided by NATI showing that in the last 5 years, that's from 2017 to 2021, Nigeria recorded 7,143 cases of pipeline breakages and deliberate vandalism, resulting in crude theft and product losses of over 208 million barrels. That's valued at $12.74 million, which is over 4 trillion naira. Trillion. NATI also reports that during the same period, Nigeria has spent over 471 billion to either repair or maintain pipelines. The sector, he also says that some of the, the impact, the economic impact of that industry is that it has accounted for 72.26% of Nigeria's total exports and government's foreign exchange, 40.55% of government's revenue, and provided over 19,000 jobs. And yet, because of this theft and vandalism, the people or the companies involved in this industry are yet to derive optimal benefits from oil and gas resources. So this is a serious emergency for our country, and everything that needs to be done to, turn this around is what they are advocating.
Let me take a minute for this story. So, are we moved to? Okay, that was Punch, right?
Yes.
Moving on to Vanguard. Presidency, APC attack Obi over stance on Supreme Court's verdict. NNPC are working with NATI, others to reconcile the 2021 reports. U.S. advisory can create panic and affect economy, says federal government. Bandits, Boko Haram, killed 29 in Katsina and Borno. Nollywood actor Mr. Ibu leg amputated. Matawale didn't seek patronage of bandits, says media aid. Judge restates order of unconditional release of ex-CBN Governor Emefiele. Let me start with Emefiele. So an Abuja High Court, sitting in Maitama yesterday, restated its order that directed the EFCC to release the detained governor of the CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, unconditionally. You either release him or produce him in court to be granted bail. However, the EFCC flouted the orders because his lawyer, Emefiele's lawyer, came to the court and said that you're giving these guys this order and they have flouted it. He's been in custody for 140-something days. But the EFCC's lawyer was saying that no, he has only been there for 100 days. Same thing, same difference. Wow. But the issue is, why is EFCC flouting the court's order? So they're saying they've acknowledged that they received it, and they explained that they said that we're not insinuating that it was deliberate. It may be inadvertent on the part of the counsel for the applicant. Okay, I'm reading the wrong sentence. But anyway, they are going to, according to the EFCC's lawyers, they're going to eventually release him, but they are yet to release him, and his lawyers are complaining that the court should hold them in contempt of court, but for not obeying the order directly to release him unconditionally. Okay, any story in Vanguard?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Who has
Mr. Ibu, who took Mr. Ibu?
I took it.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that what you have?
No.
Okay.
Let's take it.
Yes, so let me take that story.
I can take mine while you're looking for it. So I don't know if we remember the rec in Adamawa State, Barrister Hudu Yunusa Ari, during the elections. Was it last year or earlier this year already?
Yeah.
No, not Matawale.
Elections.
Yes. So remember in Adamawa State, we had a situation where a wrong candidate was falsely announced as the winner of the election. And so, yes, so that particular rec, Barrister Hudu Yunusa Ari, he was arrested, and then bail was paid on him, and he was supposed to also bring a surety. They said he and his surety are on the run. They have not come before the electoral
Commission.
tribunal to address their issues. And so the government is, I guess, they're looking for them who are, they're not showing up to court, and that's what they've just put out, and then they're reminding us of what it is that he had done. And we have the police who have also confirmed that this is the case, and you cannot, he's in hiding. The surety is also in hiding.
Now wow.
Okay.
So I have the Mr. Ibu story, and a new statement from the family of the actor John Okafor, aka Mr. Ibu, has shown that one of his legs has finally been amputated to keep him alive. Now, they said from October, we had the news that Mr. Ibu was ill and he needed financial assistance to aid his treatment, which was advertised on social media. And according to the story, it said in his page yesterday, it was revealed that he had undergone 7 successful surgeries, including the amputation of his leg, in a bid to keep him alive. So I just want to read a bit of the statement. It said, "Good afternoon, Nigerians. We want to appreciate everyone who has come through for our dad. Saying we are grateful is an understatement, and only the good Lord can thank you enough for the help you've given. As at 1 p.m. noon today, Daddy had gone through 7 successful surgeries, but to keep him alive and increase his chances of recovery, one of his legs had to be amputated. This development had been hard on us all, but we've had to accept it as his new reality to keep him alive." So they are still soliciting for support from well-meaning Nigerians so that he can, sort of complete
Such a
his...
talented actor.
I'm telling you, it's painful.
I love that guy so much, honestly. It's so sad. I wish I was a rich person. Anyway, I was going to take the bandits that killed Boko Haram that killed 29 in Katsina and in Borno as well. They attacked a village who were celebrating their Molud. They came, surrounded the village and started to
Spray bullets.
Yes, thank you, Jerry. And they killed like 20.
Yeah, about 20.
And kidnapped a lot. They don't even know how many people were kidnapped. The injured ones were taken to the hospital. 2 later died. And most of them were rice farmers, which is, I think, very... And this is what we are talking about. The farms are not protected.
Yeah.
And the farmers, this is part of what we need.
Yeah.
For economy.
Yes.
How many farms can you protect? How many farms do you have? That's deploying. So I'm just wondering how
We
many.
will soon buy rice.
Because our
100,000
we have
bags.
the total police in Nigeria. It's not up to 500,000. I hope you know that.
They should employ more people.
So
It's not up to 500,000.
It's not up to 500,000 now.
How many are they sending?
Are they sending for
As at the
politics?
last time I
7,000.
checked, it was 350.
Well, 3 years less than 5. It's like,
And
I'm
they're
just being
taking
conservative.
57
Way
out
less.
of them to go and do politics.
For
We are
just
not
this
ready.
weekend, just on Saturday.
Never
Exactly.
ready.
Because they are
Yeah.
stealing ballot boxes now. They won't get free and fair elections. How do
We
you
just
get free
need
and
more
fair?
police
So
officers.
you didn't also Nigerians to vote without snatching boxes. So if you do that, they don't need to send that 7,000
Exactly.
to meet you.
As well.
So it's a cycle. Nigerian Tribune.
When you start to catch the people who are snatching the ballot boxes and you start to...
Who's
and
going
you
to
go to
catch?
the,
We
and
don't
you
have
start the-
enough
it's-
personnel,
listen,
YK.
it's not the hoodlums that you catch. It
can-
is the people that
That
send
sending
the
the
hoodlums.
So you can make
When
an
they start to
example of
catch
them.
those ones, then
They won't send
we are
hoodlums
making
anymore.
progress. We are not making progress. You'll be catching
catch
some
small boys that
small fry.
collecting 5
And you say,
Beg.
The Nigerian Tribune.
But that's not the
Cuba poll, 40,000 polls personnel for Kogi. Appeal court reserves judgment in Kano Guba election. Ports and Harbors Bill will promote casualization, says maritime workers. 2 killed as fire got Canadian embassy in Abuja. Obi carpet Supreme Court, INEC over 2023 election. Presidency APC kicks. US travel advisories causing needless panic. Nigeria is safe, says federal government. Court finds NYSC 5 million naira confirms and bars NYSC certificate authentic. And Oyo workers to get 25,000 naira wage award for 6 months. Okay? The Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday dismissed the allegations of forgery of a discharge certificate brought against the Enugu State Governor, Barrister Peter Mba, by the NYSC. The trial judge Justice Nyang Eko threw away the allegations following the inability of the court to prove and defend the allegations required by law. The statement, the judge was saying that he gave the judgment by the governor against the NYSC, imposed a fine of 5 million naira on NYSC to be paid jointly to the plaintiff for suppressing facts and conspiring against him in the allegations. The court held that with the unchallenged evidence of the plaintiff on how the discharge certificate was issued to him in 2003 by NYSC after serving in a law firm in Lagos, and the inability of the court to come up with a counter evidence to prove otherwise. It was crystal clear that the plaintiff served the mandatory 1-year service.
How did he make that mistake? Was it a mistake? Did they deliberately accuse him of
sure they
forging?
just-
We don't know.
You know how, have you seen how they keep their files, all these government agencies?
All right, they're going digital now, YK. Some of them are going digital. Let's not assume. Any story in
we have heard.
Tribune? We're done?
I have one story in
Telegraph?
Yeah.
Okay, our final paper for this morning, New Telegraph. Let's find a story of not taken. UNTH resident doctor escapes from abductors. NPC to eliminate age declaration launches e-birth registration. Oh, I think I should read that story. EFCC fails to produce Emefiele in court, gets November 8th date. NLC says Imo CP's redeployment not enough to stop planned strike. Mohbad's death court grants Naira Marley Sam Larry 20 million naira bail.
What?
And court declares Mba's certificate authentic, fines NYSC 5 million naira. Okay, which story?
Yes, so the resident doctor attached to the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, UNS, Ituku Ozala, Enugu State, Dr. Orokara, escaped from his captives on Monday. So he was, kidnapped, and the bandits had kept him in a place. By the time they spoke to his wife to give sort of pay ransom, the wife agreed. And so in excitement, the bandits stepped out to go and have fun. So they drank, they weeded. By the time they came back, they dozed off, deep sleep. Omo carrying slippers, and he ran. They got to a junction in Enugu State, called his family, they called the enemy chairman, they organized and picked him up by midnight. And so he, was saved from that. And, I was wondering how they have not collected the money. They just heard that the money will be paid. It was just God that helped this man. And so the enemy chairman was complaining that they've been kidnapping a lot of medical doctors. They just see them as, we can chop from this place and their lives have been at risk.
Okay, what will be a good ending? We hope that the police is able to trace and find those kidnappers.
That is all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Now we're moving to our hot topic of today. So in the last 48 hours, the only conversation we've been hearing about in Nigeria has been the issue of DNA or no DNA. So there was a 44-year-old indigene of Ikire, Osun State, identified as Mr. Olanrewaju Kolawole. disclosed that the DNA test result revealed that none of his 4 children was his biological child, were biologically his. Asked why he decided to conduct the test in the first place, Mr. Kolawole said he did so because of his wife's promiscuous moves. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Because aside from Mr. Kola's issue, there has been so many conversations concerning lots of families going through this exact same thing. Many men are coming out, some are embarrassed to talk about, knowing that they understand that the child they've raised for years doesn't belong to them. Interestingly, I was talking to somebody close to me very recently, and he was giving me stories of different people that he knows that they found out 30 years on that the child they've raised doesn't belong to them. You know, and this raises the question. Some are saying that should we start insisting that at the point of birth we must conduct DNAs? Like as you are given, no matter how well we lovey-dovey, as the child is being born, let's start containing DNA, because it seems that this is getting more and more rampant. What are your thoughts? You can call us on 081 076 41679, 090 241 63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag yourviewtvc so we can read the tweet. Let me come to you guys, because honestly, I'm one of those people that believe that women can't do wrong. Like, I just like every woman is a mother, you know, she loves, and, you know, there's no way she would intentionally. When I saw Auntie Toyin, that's Mr. Kolawole's wife, I'm thinking to myself, there's some women, no.
See,
Women are women.
what is just so obvious to me is the way we lack integrity. As a nation, it is getting worse every day.
True.
Because me, if I'm a woman and I sleep with 2 men and I get pregnant, I will either confess to the 2 men. I don't know the father.
Ew.
Please, when we have the child, let us
Go and check.
go and check who the father is, or I remove it.
But you might not know. You might be hoping it's your husband.
There's no hope. I've slept with 2 men at the same time. You can't know who the father is.
Yes, now you wouldn't know now. You wouldn't know who.
You can't know.
No,
So when you are hoping,
That come up.
and the child is now born,
yes.
and it's not looking like the other man, you will still be telling the other man that it's his own?
Yeah.
It's lack of integrity now.
Some of us have gone, some women have gone to their graves with this secret and they're fine. And nothing happened.
So I guess that's the lack of integrity that White is talking
Exactly.
about. So if you do have integrity, you should be able to be upfront about it. And what it means is that I'm ready to take accountability. Whatever the consequences of my actions are, I will take responsibility. But because we don't take accountability for anything, even the smallest thing, something as serious as this, we'll take it as if, well, your luck. In fact, we have seen many people. Do you remember the story of an on-air personality that he found out that his wife had a child that was not his, and she said, is she the one that begged him?
Yes. No. Why did he assume?
And she said, what did he assume that the child was? That's the levels we're talking about this lack of integrity. It is deep.
I remember that thing. I was like,
You know?
how would you assume?
Right,
Yeah, what would you assume?
How will I not assume you're my wife? How will I not assume? You know? It's ridiculous.
Do you remember one story of one guy who found out that his children were not his when he went to go and get Canadian,
yes.
We took that story on this show.
That story, yes.
Where he put a gun to the woman's head and said, if you don't tell me, that was when she now started confessing. That it's only the first child that is young, the other 2 are another, and those were the boys.
You know,
And the woman now dies and leaves him to come and be telling the boys that they're not his.
God. That is so sad. The devastating effect of finding this as an adult child, you know, I can't even begin to imagine. We've heard of people who have committed suicide, people who have gone into depression, realizing that they've been lied to their whole lives, that the story surrounding them is, you know, that my mother cheated on my father, and it's better to know from the get-go who you are and what it is that you have done. You see these DNA stories, when I used to first hear them, I used to think it was a Black American thing. They're the ones that used to do this sort of thing. I just never imagined that this has now become like a cultural thing for Nigerians, where you're just having children. our story is to be men will show up with children years after.
Yeah.
But our women are pious women, virtuous women. They would never they would never leave their matrimonial home to do that. And now, the more and more we hear of this, honestly, I am also of the opinion that maybe at birth, we should also have DNA immediately. Because unless the husband waives it, he says, I don't need one. But he should be given an option to insist, to ask for a DNA. Honestly, this
let me come to you, BC.
Once he waives
it,
he has waived it for life. He will not go 10 years
that's what
down the line to go and check it.
What are your thoughts? Let's start with the Kolawole and his wife story before we now go into other people.
Yes.
What are your thoughts when you saw that video?
So when I saw the video and I saw how the wife was, denying and saying, no, I know how I got my children. In fact, he went for this DNA behind my back. He did not tell me. I don't know what samples you tested, It got me thinking. Because there's what they call chimerism, which means that one person can have two sets of DNA in their body. And so you may have a child. So there are cases, if you go do your research, there are cases that it's been established that you can have two sets of DNA in your body. You are a chimera. It's not common, but they have seen a few cases where this sort of DNA issues came out, and the woman kept insisting that these children belong to you. They now had to start testing the father of the man, the grandfather, and they found the DNA of the great-grandfather, linked to the children's DNA, because one of the parents was a chimera who probably had two sets of DNA. There's also another study, it happened in the US in 2002, another case of Fairchild. This one was even a woman that she had a case, and then they did the DNA test, and they said she was not the biological mother of her children. So for a woman to deny, I know there are people that are evil and wicked, but for a woman to boldly deny like that, we may also start exploring other options. Is it possible that the DNA sample, probably this man or the father is a chimera, and the children took another set of DNA from either of the lineage? Is it possible?
It happens with one child or two. But four?
But you see, we can check. We can start there.
She's not denying it.
Japanese.
She's not denying.
She accepted.
I should not accept it.
No,
she didn't accept. She's not denying it passionately. She's denying it. No.
That she knows where these children came from. No, so what I'm trying to say is...
So you're getting a benefit of that.
Yes, we can explore...
Me? I do all right.
You're African woman.
I count that.
She is
we
where?
can explore.
She
Why there are ways of doing this.
Wait, now.
I'm not dramatic like you. I wouldn't like that.
We can... Waiki.
I'm not like
Brown,
you.
are you all right?
No, I wasn't.
No, Morayo, because of the way you are and how important you take your virtuousness, or integrity.
And your integrity.
You will be insulted. How dare they? How dare you? How can you even think about it?
Brown is the last person that can ask for DNA in this age, because all those children look nothing like me. Is it sorry for interrupting you, Jerry?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Let's quickly finish our train of thought, please.
I forgot what...
Your coaching skills come
Continue.
out.
We're talking about Chimera or Japanese or whatever over there.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that, before we found the names of some of the diseases that we have today, they've always been there. But because we didn't have the tools to get their names and their labeling, it's possible we still have these issues rampant, so that we don't go and accuse somebody wrongly who did not actually do anything. Can we explore all of these? So when we're doing DNA, is it also possible that we test? Because I know that, for instance, if you're a chimera, some parts of your body will have a particular DNA, other parts will have. So maybe they tested the blood. The blood does not match. Can they test the saliva? Can they test something else? Let's just be sure. Yes, it's medical and it's proven. It's not common.
Yes,
but you can't
rare.
say.
It's not
common.
Let me take this call.
Option.
Okay, now we're talking the camera part. Let's take this
that's
call.
an option.
Good morning. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
I like that.
Hello? Go ahead. You're live.
Chimera.
Okay, Mr. Peter from George.
Mr. Peter, go ahead, please. You're live.
The sister with with a yellow trouser, I've said it all. Lack of integrity. What is really wrong with our ladies? We are scared. The good ladies are here, but the bad ones are overshadowed to the level that when you see a lady, you are thinking that you are seeing a devil. It's so bad. I think in the studio, I think I should prepare one man the miss. Because ladies, you take this thing as fun, I just laugh over it. I think I need a man in there to hammer it straight ahead. It's so bad that
Thank you very much,
you
Mr.
know.
Peter. Going to the what's Vikings about integrity, I remember I've shared this story several times. My own brother, we got married. Tokwe attended the engagement. I'm not sure you were there, but Nima was there. We had an engagement for my brother, and it was based on the fact that his wife was pregnant. The person he wanted to marry was pregnant, and she held this man with pregnancy, and we were all excited. My brother did the room, we did blue and pink, but tables and chairs, beds. We were so excited, expecting the twins, did the engagement. We all did the engagement in Lekki here. Just to find out the auntie was never pregnant.
Imagine.
She probably was using some kind of hormones to make her tummy big or so, whatever it is, but we just...
She wanted to hook him for marriage?
So the point is part of the integrity. So
She was never pregnant.
She was never pregnant.
She was she deliberately knew she wasn't pregnant.
Yes, and he was just using the pregnancy to hook
because
we've done engagement.
Because there's a medical term for that kind of pregnancy sometimes. That's if you're not deliberately doing that, you actually feel pregnant. You show the symptoms of pregnancy, but you're not pregnant.
But this one wasn't pregnant.
But this one was.
wasn't pregnant.
Hey, not confident.
But the point that was talking to the integrity, that people who have integrity. But ladies of your view, there are instances where you know the kind of man you're about to marry. You got pregnant for maybe your ex. You probably didn't even know that you got pregnant. And you met this guy.
No, but you know you slept with 2 men.
This man, your ex, you had sex with him, right?
Yeah.
And you got pregnant, but you did not know. But he's not ready to settle down. He's still doing his gallivanting, boy, guy. And this man came from Canada or wherever it is, and he came to Nigeria and he's ready for a wife. And your mother is like, listen, this guy is ready. And he's a good guy. Maybe you've known him through your brother or something. You have an idea. And then you marry him. He carries you to Canada, whatever it is. And you then find out you're pregnant. But you know the kind of man is your Canada guy. Because if you tell him,
that's the end.
He will deport you by that place you brought you from. He will bundle you and carry you back to Nigeria.
That will be the end, yeah.
So you say, I'd rather keep this thing quiet and give this thing to this man because you don't want anything to bad to happen to your child. You also want a new life for your child. So in a woman like that, would you blame her for keeping mom?
Yes. 100%, 110%. I will blame her. Let me tell you why. Because you found out. Because of your own selfish, I want to stay in Canada.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can stay in Canada and go and still confess and go and look after yourself there. Must he look after you and your child when you know it's not his child? You see,
he loves you.
I don't care about the love.
Then tell him.
If he loves me, he will love me enough.
Love the child.
The love.
Yes, because.
Right, let me pause for a second.
For me, it is totally...
Sorry to pause. Let me take this call from Labi. He's been holding for a while. Sorry. Good morning, Labi. I'll come back to you. Lamide.
Okay, you take
Lamide.
Sorry.
Go ahead. You're live. Go ahead, sir. I'm so sorry.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
I appreciate you people.
Thank you, sir.
You see, I am of the opinion that this matter is not a matter of integrity or whatever. I think it should be a matter of law. If somebody sexual harassment or any attack penalty, whoever happens to be in this type of situation, the woman should be in prison. Simple. Because you cannot continue. You can imagine the trauma the man will be now. Somebody has been able to train, the man is 46 years old, and he has spent almost 17 years of his life to train 4 children. And at the end of the day, you come out to say the DNA will say that the father is not the father of the children. And the woman will be going scot-free. So you understand? I think there should be a law. There should be a penalty for whoever commits this type of thing. I think it should be a deterrent. Thank you very much.
I mean, so let me come to ladies. I have to go on a break. When you come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this DNA matter, and I think the last caller got my mind thinking about something. Is this matter an issue of integrity, or is it about forgiveness and love? Because when things happen, do we see it, oh my goodness, you lack integrity? Or do we see it from a place of, can I forgive you? And can I still love this child? Should we focus on what the woman did wrong? Should someone like a caller be focusing on her lack of integrity, or forgiveness and love?
In this case, as we have heard, the woman has not accepted yet. So you have not even acknowledged your wrongdoing for us to even start the journey of forgiveness and moving on and healing. So first of all, you need to accept that you've done something wrong. These stories that happen, really, there are men that have, that scenario that you painted about someone coming from somewhere. There are men that have chased women who are in relationships. They know that they were in previous relationships. And then at the point of marriage, conversations have come up, is this really my child? What if couples like that have decided, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, this child, if he's born in my house, I'm the father. But that's because there was no deception. It was spoken about openly. This may be a case that could happen. The deception is what makes it tough. And then when you finally do this, and then deception is, there's deception of 1 month, 6 months, 6 years, 16 years, until you had no plan of talking about healing and forgiveness. You now want us to talk about forgiveness and love and healing because you were caught. If you were never caught, you keep on deceiving me. But people have moved on, Morayo. These human beings were all different. Some people have looked at the years and the sacrifice that they have made together. In fact, they've looked at their lives that I've had such a wonderful partner. The only thing that this person has done wrong is bring a child that was not mine 16 years ago or 20 years ago. And it may take a long time, but I'm willing to work through this. If she's able to acknowledge and convince, I was too scared, I was too afraid of losing you, because I knew that this may mean the end of our marriage, and I didn't want that. That makes it really
what
tough.
If the man couldn't have children? You know how in Nigerian sector, in African setting, where more because I know that you can't have children. Between you and I, you've not opened up to me that you can't have children.
Unspoken,
like yes, that I know you can't have children because you can't perform. But I know that family, everybody, the church, everybody, they have stakeholders who feel like this marriage is the best marriage.
They will call my name.
So I've come to go and it's my name. It's not me they will blame.
So now
let me finish my scenario.
We know where you're headed.
I now have to go and help myself so that we can bola Shiri.
Yes.
The man would not have gone to the radio if she was boye.
No.
Listen,
wait.
The woman, when you say confessing and she was lamenting, she would have said,
Okay.
You want loan?
That is for Kolawole. That's for Kolawole and Toyin's matter. But we're talking generally. There is no general.
Wait, even for the Kolawole and the Toyin's matter, not all men are willing to subject themselves to treatment and go into the hospital to check.
Yes.
That African man, no. My mother had 17 children. My grandmother had 27 children. I am capable.
Exactly.
Is a lot of men. It takes a kind of exposure,
yes,
especially with our modern men, to subject themselves to, okay, let's even go and find out what exactly is wrong. Let's seek treatment together. The men of our time, our father's time, before I say my time, they'll say I'm now very old. The men of our father's time were not open to that kind of conversation.
Exactly.
So it's possible. It could also be possible that
these people are not father's time.
I know. Even some, we have some young men here who are
think
strong
that
on their
way.
ego.
You're right.
I'm an African man. My parents had 17. This one had.
Can never be me.
I'm okay. The problem is yours. Anytime you call in churches for people who are looking for the fruit of the womb, do you see men?
No.
They are not, but they don't all claim they are looking for the fruit of the loin. They look for, it's only women that come out for that. So it's also possible in a scenario like this.
There's a phone call. I will answer you after the phone call.
The woman would, understand that this person, because I was wondering, how can you have 4 outside and 1 did not mistakenly enter from inside?
So the man knows justification.
No, I'm not justifying.
Let me take Akpan.
Thank you, Miriam. Answer the call.
Good morning, Akpan. Thanks for calling, Akpan. Well, I'm so
sorry.
Akpan.
Sorry. And 1 did not sneak in. By mistake.
So the man has
it came to my mind.
Yes.
It
I know.
doesn't mean we're justifying, but it just came to my mind like, how can? Because I know that what happens in this sort of scenario, maybe the woman is going out and everything, is that worst case you mix the children.
Yes.
Excuse me, are you a Christian? Are you a Christian? I want to ask you a question. Are you a Christian? Yes or no? First answer, yes or no. Are you a Christian? Okay, let me talk to you as a Christian. Is adultery a sin or not?
It's a sin.
Chicken now.
But you remember,
I ended there.
You know now.
I'm
Just acknowledging Christian matters.
Don't worry, that's what you people preach now.
Somebody mentioned that African women had been, with this pious face and all of that. And I beg to differ. You know why? Because our grandparents, there's always, if you come to our family, they were mixing children.
Yes.
It's just that there was no DNA at the time. If you come to the family, there's always that person that looks like that uncle that used to come and visit.
Except for my own family.
Okay, I don't know about your family.
My grandmother was pious and virtuous.
Never. Because we're not talking about
I
your
never
family.
answered my
Calm
question.
down.
No.
So
What's
it's
your question?
possible that this person was not able to.
Okay.
And the wife just went ahead with it and felt, since you don't even know, you don't even care about checking yourself out, let this children, not knowing that he will decide to do DNA one day.
Okay.
He said this is because he noticed her promiscuous ways. That's why he decided to
So
do
that's okay.
DNA.
So you know what? Let us pack. Say Kolawole and Toyin's matter. They are easy to.
So you're saying you're just saying that there are different scenarios that could have
different
happened.
scenarios.
Yes. We understand, but I just even feel that it should not come up in the conversation for this. It's a different conversation altogether, because that's what they do with women who their men have gone out and have had children. Yes, with a woman, you know that she's unable to have children, and then they come back to her 20 years later and say, well, it's because you could not have children. So I went out and I had children. But you never for one day sat down with this woman to say, this is our situation. Because of this situation, I would like to have children. Now, make a choice. Do we go our separate ways, or is it okay for me to go and have children outside? The deception is what we're talking about. Whether it bore fruit or not, you stepped out on your husband throughout the marriage. You did not, and obviously you are not remorseful about it. If you thought that he had a problem, why didn't you have a conversation with him and say, you know what, mister, I really want children, and I do not think that you can give me children.
Let me pause you for a second. I'm going to come back to you. Let me take Rotimi. Why?
You can leave quietly.
Wait, let me take Rotimi. Good morning, Rotimi. Thanks for calling.
Morning. Good morning, lady.
Morning.
There is something about that this business on this your program. Those things that actually affect me, you guys don't discuss it here.
What?
You know, if this was a case that does not favor women, I know many women activists in Nigeria will have rise up and go to National Assembly to go and promulgate a law that will punish anybody who is found wanting in such cases. In Nigeria, we operate through our legal system. In the north, when a woman commits adultery, he is punished according to the law. But in the southern part of Nigeria, this thing is not being punished. That is why you see a lot of women in the southern part of Nigeria are committing adultery recklessly.
Mr. Rotimi, can I pause you for a second? Mr. Rotimi, have men been committing adultery for centuries, haven't they? Yes, and who's punishing them?
Thank you.
Men that commit adultery.
Yes, who have been punishing them?
They don't treat their responsibility.
Really?
They bear their responsibility. Wow. Yes. On this one, women don't get them. You bring somebody's child to another man to be paid. After saving it for some time, you now come up and say it is this XYZ that is the father. These women are not being from. Let me tell you, Morayo. Go to Lagos, especially Lagos Island. 80% of women in Lagos Island are involved in promiscuity. I am telling you this.
Who gave you the data?
I am telling you this. You can go and sit down and find out this thing. If adultery is not punished in southern Nigeria, this thing will destroy us. You will be surprised by the lot of admiral on this
Mr. Rotimi. Okay, thank you very much. What is causing adultery? Wait, thank you very much. Let me let you go. Let's unpack this issue of adultery. Because listen, the truth is that thou shalt not commit adultery. It's in the Bible, it's in the Quran, everybody, we're not supposed to do that. But there are women, according to Mr. Rotimi, who are doing it. Therefore, for different reasons. Let's leave the ones who are doing it for selfish reasons. These women who are bringing different children, for whatever reasons they are doing it. You see, the reason why I'm trying to paint different scenarios, because some women find themselves in really difficult situations. You see, if you marry a sane man, a civil man, and have a conversation, that is good. You can have that talk. But there are some men, we are married for different reasons, different circumstances. Either somebody introduces somebody, one family, this, you know. There are different reasons why we come together, where families expect you to procreate. And they're not willing to understand that the man is the problem. And you, in your own thinking, maybe your selfishness, you want your children to have this status. You know, we live in this area of the Lagos State. You want to maintain this status. You want your children to be here. We don't want to be sent away or to want to be left with nothing. So you have an affair. You get pregnant, maybe by the driver got you pregnant. I can actually be pregnant. And then, since the man doesn't have any child, he can't, because there's a men that their things can't stand. Excuse me. There are men that people they can't provide. They're shooting blanks. That's the truth.
If my man is shooting blank, and I go outside, and I get pregnant by the driver, I will call my man
that
you have been shooting blanco because I just went and did with driver and Bele don't enter out.
Why can you
So
tell your
wait.
husband that? You tell your husband that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Integrity. That what I'm saying is, because your husband is shooting blanks does not give you the permission or the right to go and sleep with the driver and bring the Bele into the house or the husband's friend and bring the Bele into the house and make it out as your husband's. Please, what is wrong is wrong. Let's leave it
Simple,
like that.
yeah.
What is wrong is wrong. It is wrong.
There's no
When men go and have families outside, like was it not Timmy that was saying?
Yes.
When men go and have families outside, we will sit down here and say, nonsense, man. Why nonsense? Why
Yeah.
and it's when you now die, the family now appeared. Which kind of disrespect is that?
Yeah.
Yes. What is wrong is wrong.
Let me take.
So we will criticize it when it is our own.
still
Please let us
Let me take
criticize it.
Eniola. Good morning, Eniola. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning, your views lady. This matter, I stand strongly with Anti-YK. Integrity goes a long way. No matter how you want to paint it. You know yourself that your husband cannot perform. And you have a child outside. You should be able to own up and call the man and let the man know that, sir, this has happened. Just because you cannot do this, I have to try this. It happens to my brother. He has to test himself outside. So I know the consequence of a polygamy, but you shouldn't be silent about it.
All right.
We need to own up as a lady to be able to say the truth.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Eniola.
you.
Let me go on a break. When we come back with you. We'll be right. Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this matter. Please call us. I'd really like to hear from men or women who have experienced this somewhat. Please, I mean, it would be nice to hear your experience and learn from your own and how you've been able to manage it. So we want to learn from the women who did this, made these mistakes, or who did this intentionally, or men who have been able to, who have found a way to manage what happened. You can call us on 081-076-41679, 090-241-63440. You can tweet to us on tvc.connect. We'd like to read your tweets. I have this message from Mr. Okay, he said, please don't mention my name. Hello, Morayo. I live in the U.S. I have been trying to bring my family over to the U.S. We did a DNA test last year. My 2 children are not mine. My daughter is 8 years old. My son is 6 years old. I'm broken. I was given the option of adopting them, but I don't know what to do. I travel every year to see them. I pay school fees, pay rent. My wife is asking for forgiveness.
Oh, God.
This is last year.
Oh, God.
Look at that.
Two children.
Please,
Oh, God.
who is it going to affect? Apart from the man, not of the children.
Oh, God.
When you are doing your nonsense, not
YK,
you,
YK, let's
because
just
Mary said I keep pointing to her.
wait.
I'm-
YK.
You think,
YK,
see, let me tell you, I'm very passionate about this. thing.
Let's calm down. Let's
Calm it
unpack.
down.
Let's unpack this man's story first.
Okay.
8 and 6 years old.
Yeah.
Should he forgive? Because he has been paying rent. He has been paying school fees.
Feeding.
He wants to bring them to the U.S. for a better life. The wife is asking for forgiveness. Now, the question is, should he forgive or abandon everything? Because he lives in the U.S. They live in Nigeria. He's trying to bring them over. So the options are, do I just find a new bride and start a whole new family all over again? Or forgive and bring them over and just have my family back?
I think
I have no answer.
Forgiveness is not the first thing to go to, right?
Okay.
He would have to have a proper conversation with this woman and ask, because first of all, before I even start with this one, the one who did 4 children is wickedness. She's a wicked woman. Let us establish it.
Yeah.
Not even one. Mistake is one. And then you
This one that
move
did
on.
this was,
You do
man.
2. No, hold on. I'm just saying. You do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's
Wickedness.
intentional. That's wickedness. Whatever. I don't know whatever the
Was
man
one
did.
man, Mr. Shegun?
Yes, so for one man, no, that one they are married already. He's just living in another person's house. That's just how I want to explain that. But for this man, before you start moving into forgive me, it was a mistake. What led you to this? What did you love me? Did you see a life with me? So why would you deceive me in such a manner that you stay with me and then you present the children? Why are you not with the person who is giving you
A
the
lot of
belle?
questions to be asked.
A lot of questions to be
He's
asked.
watching the show right now. because we're
Exactly.
sending
He
a message
needs
right
to.
now.
They need to have a family, not just you and your wife. Family conversation. The parents, the in-laws need to be. Yes. When it comes to this, see, I've seen women who do terrible things, who make mistakes, but who clean up the mistakes because they think of how it would affect. If you have already committed the sin, but you don't want to commit the murder, right? Then you now carry full-blown children and put them into years of trauma. If these kids find out, do you know how traumatized they will be?
Okay, pause.
That one's another...
Let me take Roy. We'll talk to the children's trauma now. Roy, thanks for calling. Are you there?
Yeah.
Please, go ahead. You're live.
Firstly, this issue of calling this woman wicked shouldn't be. Because you guys have not gone deep to know why she has 4 children for this man and the husband doesn't know.
Okay.
There's a particular situation where this man has low sperm count. The wife found out from the hospital. The husband has been hiding it. She now went outside to look for a solution. Women are meant to be their solution carriers. That's why when they were being created, men were sleeping. The man sleeps, or God has to make the man to sleep. So we don't understand you people. Till tomorrow, till thy kingdom come, we can never understand the women. That woman decided to give up her own solution. Probably the man has a low sperm count, can't produce. For her to have 4, there should be a reason why. So let's not call her wicked. Let's not judge not. You know, so that's what
Point taken. Okay, you're talking about the women, the children, the trauma.
Yes.
So why should the children be traumatized? Must they have to, do you have to tell them? Must they be aware of what's going on?
Some people like she now.
I would like to say, I'd like to say that I believe that this conversation you just described may have already happened. And the reason he sent you this message is he's torn. He's torn because these are my children. That's it.
Are they?
I'm their father. This is the father that they know, and these are my children. I have loved them from the moment they were born. Hopefully, he was even at the, at the point of birth there, receiving them as they came out. He has wiped their tears, he has cleaned their noses, he has changed their diapers. He is emotionally invested with them, in them, and that is his children. Period. Now he's asking this question because he's thinking, how do I extricate myself from this relationship, this bond that I have already formed? And he's looking at it and saying, these children have not done anything bad to me. It's the mother that has done bad to me. Should I throw away the mother and the children that have built this bond? So that's where he's at. That's where I believe he's at right now. Now, there are few ways. So there are few ways in which to do this. The man will need to take time, and people should give him the time he needs away from all this. And you see, he's still paying fees, he's still paying because he feels, these are my children, I owe them that. But concerning the wife, if she's able to give him a reason why also, the reason he may be, if she's able to give him a reason why, and maybe in his mind he's also trying to rationalize that reason and think, okay, maybe there was a reason that this could have justified her going out, but not necessarily justified her lying about the paternity of the children. So he's going through a period of confusion right now. He should take the time. Finally, if he can, he could adopt the children and divorce the wife.
Go ahead, Mikey.
I will not take care of children.
No, there are many who can be married.
What I would advise him first is go and seek what they call it?
Therapists.
Real therapists. Because even if you accept the children today, you will always be looking at those children. They are not my children. They were given to me through deception. So eventually, he will now start to distance himself. So if he does not cure the pain now, in future, those children will get the raw end of the stick.
That's true.
That's one. Let me
That's
add
very true.
Probably if he gets to marry someone, he starts having his own biological children.
They have resentment towards those children.
That's one. Secondly, I know women, after a few years, after a few quarrels, they'll remind you, but they are not your children. Maybe you scold one the way you're not supposed to scold one, or you flog one the way you're not supposed to flog one. They will remind you that you're not your children. So I like the advice that Miriam gave. If he wants to adopt the children, he should do that legally. So that tomorrow the wife will not use those children to insult him. Because I've seen cases where the men just felt, okay, since I've nurtured them, I've loved them, let me just take them as my own. And tomorrow, in any quarrel, but they are not your children now. Now you give me belle bonded, they are not your children. And you use the children against the man later on. So the men need to also protect themselves. If I love them so much, I've invested in them so much, and I don't want to let them go, I will have to have a conversation with you to adopt them. So that woman will get that children from another
But it's also be sure that the biological father
is not involved.
Is not interested in the children. It's either the biological father hasn't been told yet, or he's not.
That resentment is real.
If
you have children that are not your own, and they have been telling you that they are your own, and you start to, you will start looking at them. Then let the father go and be somebody that you hate.
Oh. Even someone you
will
love,
transfer all the hate.
Let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll take a few more comments on social media. I'd like to take a few calls from people who have probably experienced this. Stay with us, we'll be right back.